Hi and welcome to this update from my new temporary workshop while my current house is being taken apart and rebuilt. But we're here for a few months. But I've brought all the electronics and tools that I need to help fix and test the Cerbera ECUs. So in this update we're going to be looking at just a brief overview of the engine management unit and some AI software we've come up with. This is a fly over the board there. We can see the EEPROM and the main CPU. And this is the main connector that connects into the wiring harness. Here's the main brain, the Intel embedded chip. These are some drivers for the fuel pump, things like that, the low speed peripherals. And there's stepper motor drivers, which I don't believe we use in the Cerbera, but they're there on this board. And there's the main chip, and this is the smaller chip there is the crank signal conditioner. These are the main high-speed drivers for the fuel injectors and the ignition signals. There are 6 of them, 5 on this side, and there's a 6th one over there. And on the left here is an analog multiplexer. So here we've read the data from the EEPROM. Initially we thought it could possibly be encrypted, but then we saw the build number at the top of the ROM there, which meant that at least this part of the ROM wasn't encrypted. Now that we can see that there's empty data there, because that's not seen by the CPU because it's of its own registers. But as we scroll down, we can see that there's something going on, so there's probably code. However, we need to disassemble the code, and we didn't have a disassembler. So we thought about it, and then we decided to employ an AI bot to help us write a disassembler. So after many iterations of the tool, we've actually generated some disassembler from the binary, which gave us some insight into what was going on once we started looking into it, which is quite an interesting process. We can see at the top there's a couple of handlers for the serial port. And as we go down, there's more code. What would be interesting, we then thought, would maybe if we can run an emulator for the instruction set, which we're quite interested in, we can actually see if the ROM code will run for us on a modern PC. So we set the AI about its task, and we came up with a tool that would help us run. And here it is, just a small demonstration of it. Starting up, and that's it starting there, and we're going to initialize some values, and then we're going to put it into turbo mode so it's not logging too much, it runs a bit faster. And then we're going to set the output so we can see what's going on, and then we're going to run the CPU for a few thousand steps. There we go. And now we can put a byte into as if the serial port has been connected to a debugger or a logging bits of software. So we're going to send it a carriage return, which wakes it up, and it should respond with its build number, which we saw in the ROM. So we send that, and now we need to run the CPU again, or the software again, for a few steps. And we can see that the software has responded with a build number, which was our first indication that it might actually be working, our emulator. So next up I wanted to see if there was anything coming out of some of the output ports, and the obvious one to be looking at would be the fuel pump. Now that's signalled by a shift register, and 8 bits go into the shift register and outputs come out. So you can see that the fuel pump on this is saying on, because it's only just started and it's still priming the fuel pump. And what I'll do next, if I run the emulator for a much longer chunk, and we let it tick over, so it's running, and now if we look at the state of the shift status, we can see that the fuel pump's gone off, so it looks like it's primed the fuel pump, which is really good news for our emulator. Next thing I wanted to do to see if we could actually connect it via an emulated serial port, so it's a diagnostic software that's available for connecting to the real car. So what we need to do is we need to enable the serial port and run for a big chunk. So I've set 32 million cycles and then I can start up this diagnostic software. It's busy thinking it's talking to a real engine, and there we go. It actually thinks it's now talking to a real engine, but in fact it's talking to our emulator. So the emulator's still running, and we can see the various, I'm not sure about the warm-up timer, but that's flashing away. And when the CPU gets to the end of its cycle of 32 million, we'll set some RPM, so it's as if the engine's running, and we'll see if the software reacts to that. There we go, it's stopped. So now I'm going to set some analog voltages up. So analog 3 and analog 5 are the throttle settings, and we run for a little bit there to see if they go down to values, and they've changed them, so it's minimum tick over idle setting. Now I'm going to set the RPM to 750. So due to some strange calculation, it's not quite working when I start it up, which you'll see. So we run it for some time, 24 million cycles, and off it goes, saying 786. So there's some maths gone wrong somewhere. I shall talk to the AI bot. So now I'm going to set the RPM to 0, and we'll see this engine speed go down to 0, and the fuel pump should go to off when I restart the emulator. So here we go, there's 0. Run the emulator for a few million cycles. There we go, RPM down to 0, and the fuel pump's gone off, which I think is quite a good sign that the emulator is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And for fun, we thought I'd make a graphical version of the emulator. So I've come up with this. It doesn't work brilliantly well all the time, but it does make for interesting visuals. So I've loaded in the EEPROM for our code, and we can see the various outputs. I'll reset the CPU, and then we can click run. So the fuel pumps come on, some other lines have come on, and the CPU's ticking away and it's updating information live, but that slows this emulator down a little bit, so we can switch that off. And then the next thing we can do, we can actually switch on the RPM signals and see what happens. So the fuel pump's gone off, so it's primed, as if we've just booted up the system, or turned the car on, as we some like to say. So we set some RPM, 750 like we did before. Go back to the shift outputs, see the fuel pumps come on, and if we actually look at the outputs for the injectors and the ignition, we can see some signals. Don't know how accurate they are yet, but it's doing something. There we go, brief update of what I've been up to on the Cerbera ECUs and the power of AI. See you next time.